Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're diving into a scenario that honestly sounds like pure science fiction, but parsing the mechanics of it teaches us an incredible amount about our planet's delicate reality. We're looking at the deeply terrifying, yet completely fascinating hypothetical scenario of waking up to a shrinking sun. Just imagine looking up at the sky and the star that gives us literally everything is just fading away.
So here's the ultimate question we've got to ask. Can humanity survive drifting into the endless darkness of space? Imagine Earth is leaving the solar system. There's no fiery explosion, no dramatic global warning siren going off. Instead, we're just plunged into this deeply terrifying, completely silent struggle for survival as we slowly separate from our host star.
Section 1. Leaving the solar system.
Right now, the sun's immense gravity safely holds us in a cozy, predictable orbit as Earth travels through space at a blistering 30 kilometers every single second. That speed, along with that gravitational tether, is exactly what keeps our climate stable and our ecosystems thriving year after year. It's a perfect balance.
But for this thought experiment, we have to imagine an impossible, mysterious force just pushing us away, slowly at first and then faster and faster. We would accelerate outward into the void, until the world's leading scientists confirmed the grim reality: we are off our track and we will never, ever return to our normal orbit.
Section 2. The Fading Sun. Now, what's really wild about this next phase is how normal things would actually seem at first. You'd still go to school, birds would still sing, for a little while, cars would still drive on the highways, and daily life would just kind of continue. But all the while, you're stepping outside and watching the sun physically shrink in the sky every single day. The cognitive dissonance would be absolutely staggering.
But yeah, that temporary illusion of normalcy, it shatters quickly. The undeniable physical signs of our departure creep in. Days get noticeably colder. Farmers who completely rely on predictable seasons watch helplessly as their crops just stall out in the fields. And our green energy grids, millions of solar panels across the globe, would completely fail to generate power as the sunlight diminishes.
Section 3. A Frozen World.
Our descent into absolute darkness happens in stages. Within mere days, you're grabbing an extra jacket for surprisingly bitter afternoons. In a matter of months, you're looking out at entirely frozen oceans. It maps a trajectory from minor inconveniences on day one to becoming a wandering cosmic ice cube millions of years down the line.
Just months later, the average global temperature plunges well below freezing. Snow permanently covers the forests, and rushing rivers become solid, silent paths of ice. Under these conditions, food becomes incredibly scarce, and widespread animal life simply cannot adapt fast enough. The surface of our vibrant world effectively dies.
Section 4. Humanity goes underground.
At this point, our world splits into a stark, divided reality. Up on the surface, it's a barren, frozen wasteland where even the air is starting to turn against us. But down below, human survivors huddle in massive, highly engineered underground cities, desperately keeping the cold at bay using advanced nuclear reactors and the Earth's remaining geothermal heat.
Meanwhile, back up on the surface, a profound visual shift has happened. Eventually, Earth travels so incredibly far into the void that our massive, life-giving sun shrinks down until it's completely indistinguishable from the rest of the stars in the endless night sky. The anchor of our entire solar system is reduced to just a tiny pinpoint of light.
Without the sun's radiant heat bathing our atmosphere, the global average temperature drops to an unimaginable extreme. We are talking negative 200 degrees Celsius. Safe to say, beach days are permanently canceled. Actually, at this temperature, the concept of weather, as we know it, fundamentally ceases to exist.
Because at these extremes, it's not just liquid water that freezes. The atmosphere itself literally begins to collapse. Essential atmospheric gases like oxygen and nitrogen freeze right out of the sky, falling to the ground to become liquid pools or solid ice. Stepping outside wouldn't just freeze you, there wouldn't even be gas left to breathe.
So how do we actually survive this? Well, for humanity to not disappear immediately, these underground bunkers must act as flawless closed-loop systems. They have to provide massive amounts of heat and electricity, artificial light to simulate the missing sun, massive hydroponic indoor farms to feed the population, and heavily filtered clean water. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is this: life would become incredibly difficult and resources would be severely, painfully limited.
In an environment this hostile, there is zero margin for error. I mean, a single technical failure, a blown reactor, or a contaminated water supply in this closed ecosystem means absolute death for the inhabitants.
But what about non-human life? If any other life on Earth were to somehow survive this absolute ordeal, it would likely only exist in tiny, isolated pockets of liquid ocean, trapped miles beneath the surface ice, warmed only by the faint remnants of Earth's internal geothermal heat. Evolution would be pushed to its absolute darkest limits.
Section 5. The Rogue Planet.
Earth has officially become a frozen rogue planet, drifting aimlessly through interstellar space. There's no sunrise and there's no sunset, just an endless darkness. But interestingly enough, if you were to look up from the surface, the sky would be full of impossibly bright, perfectly clear stars, because there's absolutely zero solar glare or atmosphere left to obscure the view.
If human descendants still exist at this point, millions of years later, they'd be an entirely different kind of society. They would live completely dependent on their ancient technology, buried kilometers beneath the impenetrable ice of this lonely wanderer. Earth would truly be the loneliest world in the universe, entirely severed from the cosmic family it was born into.
Section 6. The reality of our orbit. Okay, let's take a collective breath, because here is the reassuring scientific reality. The Sun's gravity securely holds Earth in its orbit, and there is no known natural process that would simply eject our planet. This terrifying scenario is incredibly mathematically unlikely. But analyzing these impossible, extreme questions, it really helps us deeply appreciate the delicate, beautiful balance of our solar system that we honestly take for granted every single day.
Because without the sun, life as we know it simply couldn't exist. So really think about that the next time you watch a simple sunrise. Appreciate the warmth on your face. And now, I want to turn it over to you. What hypothetical disaster should we break down in our next explainer? What should disappear next? Let us know, and keep seeking to understand the incredible universe we live in.